Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Okay, today we are going to be reading or listening to chapters 7 and 8 of Woods Runner. I hope that you're liking the book so far. I think it's a really good book. The focus thing that we are going to work on today is point of view, and if things are being told in the first, second, or third person. And we've talked a lot about that this year when we have done DOL. So I'm going to go through a quick review of that, and I also have a video attached to my slides for you to look at, for you to review. So this will be your first slide you'll come to. Here's my video. After you read chapters 7 and 8, I have the questions here for you to answer. No big deal. Point of view. Okay, the next assignment on this slide is about point of view. And over here to the left, you have the first, second, and third person point of view explanation. So we know that the first person is when you use the word I. I am living in the woods. I was alive during the Revolutionary War. Second person point of view, the narrator tells a story using the pronoun you. You were alive during the Revolutionary War. You lived in the woods. In the third person, the story is told using pronouns such as he, she, they, or it. They lived in the woods. He lived during the Revolutionary War. Or you may call somebody by their name. Samuel lived in the Revolutionary War. Samuel lived in the woods with his parents. Hint, hint. Third person point of view, however, can be broken down into three types. So when you are doing your assignment today, it's going to ask you from what point of view something is being told. If your answer is third person, you have to tell me if it's third person limited, objective, or omniscient. And let me explain the differences to you. So third person point of view is when a narrator is telling a story and they're telling a story about somebody else. They're using their names or the pronouns he, she, it, we, that kind of thing, or they. So if it's a third person limited, that means the narrator tells the story through just one character. The reader will learn the thoughts and feelings and reasons for actions of this character. So they're only focusing on one character if it's in the third person limited. Third person objective, the narrator tells the story about without relaying any of the character's thoughts or feelings. Okay, so it's just told, there's no emotion to it, it's just a story that's told and you don't really know how the characters are feeling. And the third one is third person omniscient. That's when the narrator knows the thoughts and feelings of all the characters in the story. So hopefully at this point you've decided if this story is being told, Woods Runner is being told in first, second, or third person point of view. If you pick third person, you need to decide if it's third person limited, third person objective, or third person omniscient. Okay? And this is on the slide, so you can go back and look at this if you need to. Just take your time. This is a slide that has a YouTube video link that kind of goes over what I just talked about if you're still confused. Now, the end of this video does have a lot of practice assignments where they'll ask you a question, you can write down your answer, think about it. You're welcome to try that on your own, but there's nothing that you have to turn in for me for this. It's just practice. So here is the second part of your assignment, the constructive response. So if you look on this page, you have three different questions. The first one says, who is telling the story? Is Samuel telling the story? Is his mom telling the story? Is the narrator telling the story? Answer that for the first one. This question says, from which point of view is the story told and what is the narrator's perspective? So, that's where you would answer. If it was third person, you would say third person, omniscient, limited, whatever you would put there. And how does the narrator's point of view change how the events are being described? Okay, so that's what you're going to be answering there. You have two more questions about point of view and characters right here. Then we're going to get into vocabulary. You have two new words from chapter 8. It's going to be coop stick, and that is a noun. And it is a decorated stick recording coops obtained by a warrior, a stick with which one North American Indian warrior sought to touch their enemies in battle as a sign of courage. So at the top is a picture of a coop stick. Now, in some tribes, coop stick would mean that they would actually scalp people and they would hang the scalps on the coop stick. Okay, that's one possibility. Another one Some warriors in different Indian tribes use this stick as kind of like a way to show their bravery. They would, in battle or something, fighting somebody, they would go out and try to touch them with the stick. It's almost like doing a dare. In chapter 3, we have gangrene. That is death or rotting of a part of a living organism caused by faulty circulation, disease, or injury. Okay, so gangrene is when you get cut really bad and it becomes infected and the tissue around the infection and the cut dies. That is gangrene. It's very, very dangerous. Okay, so here are your questions to answer about Coop stick and gangrene. For number 2, up here it says which of the following items would not describe a Coop stick. So if they don't describe it, just exit out. And number 3, is gangrene used correctly in the sentences below, true or false? So read the 3 sentences, and then if it is used correctly, hit true. If not, hit false. And that's the last slide. I really hope you guys are enjoying this book. I think it's my favorite. It's definitely a little bit different. It is going to get you kind of ready for 6th grade, where your focus is going to be on narratives. So I hope that you all are having a good week. Enjoy the warm weather, and I hope I get to see you soon. Bye.